Hi, I'm Maria Quattrone. I'll be the Solution Podcast, and I welcome my guest, Ibrahim Hussein. This morning, welcome, Ibrahim.
Hey, Maria, thank you, and thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
I'm excited to talk with you this morning. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
I wanted to be in a business that I did not have a ceiling. Take a pen and a piece of paper, draw a line, draw another line next to it. At 365 days, if you drew 365 lines, you started here with one line, but look how far you've come.
Good morning, Ibrahim. It's great to have you this morning. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. So, how is it up there in Canada?
It's getting cold. It's getting cold, and it's not fun. We need to calm down there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how cold is it? Let's get
what degrees are we right now? We go by Celsius, not.
Yeah, what Celsius are you?
What Celsius are we right now? 7.
You're at 7 Celsius.
Yes, and that would be.
What's that, like 30?
If we were to convert it, 46.
46. Okay. Yeah. So it's getting colder.
Yeah.
But the real estate is hot.
Real estate is the hottest it's ever been. Market is absolutely bananas. Where we are right now, we happen to live in the second fastest growing region in Canada. In the real estate.
Why is that?
Has a lot to do with the immigration and the in-migration, which is people moving from different cities in the country to our city. Okay. So immigration and immigration, and then the population increasing massively, but there is not enough homes for the buyer. So supply is so little compared to the demand.
Yeah, that sounds like
you know what happens. The prices skyrocket.
Yeah, that's a trend going across North America and Canada these days. Seems like in a lot of places.
Yes.
So, are you a suburban type of city, or are you a downtown?
We're 1 hour west of Toronto, but our city is big. Our population collectively in the region around like 700,000. So 750,000, which is fairly big enough.
Yeah.
Medium. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
So, will people move there for quality of life, or what's the?
Yeah. Very interesting. Waterloo is the second highest city in the world that have a startup companies after Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Yep. So the second highest in the entire world for the number of startups after Silicon Valley. So most people that live here are the majority has a lot to do with startups, educations, engineering. We have the best engineering school in the entire country. It's a lot to do with that. So there's a lot of technology companies in the city.
Now, why is that? Do you know?
Why is that? BlackBerry, I think that's where it started, the story. BlackBerry, do you remember that name by any chance?
Well, I had a Crackberry.
Yeah. Oh, Crackberry, come on.
I did. I actually it had to be pried out of my hands in order to get the new phone. My husband's like, enough of this thing. It's cracked. It's cracked.
Wow.
And it's falling apart, and you have to get up with the times. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, you like your BlackBerry. So BlackBerry came out of our city.
I love the BlackBerry.
Yeah, it came out of our city. So
that's awesome.
We start from there, and we have a whole bunch of we have Google headquarters in the Southern Ontario is actually in our city. We have a whole bunch of big tech companies in the city.
That's cool.
Second highest startup in the entire world.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay,
so let's go right into Ibrahim's story. Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into real estate?
Parachute. I was just parachuted.
Yeah, that's what I said. You were dropped right in, right? Parachuted in.
I did so I actually came to Canada 2012, so it's not too long a time ago. So I'm originally from Egypt. I came in here, my wife is from here, and then back home I have a law degree. So I came in with the whole hey, you know what? I'm going to continue my law degree. I'm going to do my MBA. I'm going to continue, and that's my direction. 1.5 years in, I realized that's not really the direction I want to go in. Fast forwarding 7 years, how things would look like, I'm like, we'll go the other direction. So I had the.
So what made you move to Waterloo? Well, you're coming from Egypt.
Yes.
Why there? Did you have family here?
My wife is originally actually from here.
Oh, so you were with the what? You're with your wife already.
So
I
she's
see.
originally born and raised in here. So most people that come in here, typically they go to the GTA area, which is closer to Toronto, big cities. So to come to
Frank Leo is.
Yeah, Frank Leo is from there, yeah. So you have to have another reason. So that was my wife is the reason why we actually ended up in the Kitchener-Waterloo region. I did a whole bunch of sales, different jobs, like have to find my own like direction. Had one day, remember, I had on my phone, I had only 6 contacts that starts with 519 or like the local number. So I don't know anybody in Canada. Wasn't born here, didn't grow up here, didn't go to university, no friends, no nothing. You're starting your life from scratch. Not a whole lot of friends for my wife. So like there is no whole lot of network that you can tap on. And then like you get the job and all of that stuff, none of this. So I had to start everything literally from zero again. So fast forward, I was like, I need to get a sales job. I'm really good with sales. I was selling like when I was 17 years old, doing some online sales and all of that stuff, like buying a gym supplements and go to the gym, expensive gyms that have
that's a good business for a young guy.
Wealthy people, like you go like have personal trainers. So I go there and I buy these supplements, importing them from the United States of America, and then like selling it into them, make good money, pay for my own tuition for school. That whole like journey.
The entrepreneurial journey.
So I did that. I came here and then I'm like, I need a job that actually a front line work with people, like have anything to do with sales to kind of build my clientele, build my whatever business I'm going to get into in the future. I need my network. I need to build my own sphere of influence, as we call it. So I did a telecommunication sales for probably 1.5 or 2 years. I did very well. Ended up doing one deal with a real estate agent who said, Ibrahim, you should actually be working in real estate. I'm like, well, I have an idea how things work back home and all of that stuff, but I don't know what needs to be done here. So here is a little bit different than the States because it takes out, you actually have to go to college to get a license. It takes up to like 6 months to 1 year. It depends on like how fast you can finish it. So I went to
How many hours?
I honestly don't know how many hours, but there are 5 courses. At that time, it was only 3, but now you have to do 5 courses. It takes anywhere between 6 months to 1 year on average to get your license done.
Yeah, it's probably 150 hours.
Give or take, yeah. So I did that, and then I got my real estate license, and I got into the business. So
what year are we in now? We in what, 14?
I'm in the 5th year. I came to in the early beginning of 2017. I got my license beginning of 2017. So we're getting into the 5th year right now, very soon. So I did that. I actually very funny because I failed my last exam 3 times to get my license. So I was so caught up in what's going to happen after I get my license. I let every single person that I knows that I'm getting into real estate, building my clientele, right? So I was so caught up after like lining everything, like doing the proper building relationship, proper communication, proper prospecting, everything that I can possibly think of. I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning to call my investors back home and in Dubai at 10 o'clock their time. So I have to wake up here 2 o'clock my time to do my lead generation time. I go back to sleep at 5 o'clock. There is no way that you're going to see me at the office at 8 o'clock, which caused some problems where I was before because I don't really show up, but then transactions showing up. So caused a problem for the other team members. Like, hey, look, I don't have to come to the office at 8 because this guy doesn't come, but he does business. I'm like, hey, I actually did the same thing you're doing, just different time zone. So I did this, and then I'm like, they opened the doors for me, and I'm very grateful. Great team, always be friends. Then
so wait you okay. You get your license and you're calling back home and to Dubai and other places that you have connections to invest here in Canada.
Yes, in Canada, because it's a very safe place, a lot of ROI, it's a good investment to invest here in Canada. I did this right before they implemented the foreign taxes. The government did that, so now they cannot buy anymore because if you buy something in Canada, you have to pay 15% taxes more than if you're not Canadian citizen or Canadian permanent residence. have to be 15% taxes. Before that, I maximized the hell out of it. Like literally, I sold a lot of real estate.
How many?
So that's a good question. So I got my license. So it's one step before that. So I my exam is in November. You know what? I'm gonna get my exam. I'm gonna start selling real estate. I go to the exam. I fail because I didn't study. I was focused on what's happened. That's okay. I will take it again. I failed again. I'm like, you know what? I failed it twice. It should be okay. You know, I'm gonna get it the third time. I failed again. I'm like, God, that looks bad. Because I'm like, clearly whatever I'm doing right now doesn't matter without having the license. So I have to stop doing what I'm doing and go study, get the license to start selling. So I did that, and I sold 18 homes in 59 days.
18 homes in 59
18 homes, not 60. 60 days is 2 months. It's actually 2 months and 60 days, 59 days. And then I finished the year with 41 transactions, my first year in real estate. That was a great year. Like a whole bunch of brokerages, you know, like, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? I'm like, guys, like, I honestly don't know how I did it. There's no blueprint of like, here is the steps. If you did this, you're gonna get that. If you did this, you're gonna get that. I was just hustling all day long. I failed my exam 3 times to get to where I am today. All of that stuff, right? So I did. Fast forward 1 year after that, the team I was privileged and honored and lucky to be able to be part of a team when I just started real estate. I've always like having my law degree, working as a lawyer before that, having my own business with my brother, playing soccer all my life. The whole concept of being in a team or on a team, that's just takes a team to win a championship. So I knew from the beginning I want to be part of the team, because fast forward the whole things for me. I don't have to do a whole bunch of things that I have to do it on my own. So I was lucky to have that great team at that time. For alignment purposes and long-term vision, we kind of like parted separate ways. Went to my own. I sold 52 homes in the second year.
So that's 2000. Now we're 2018.
2018 in the fall 2018.
So you went by yourself, or you an agent, or by yourself, or did you open a brokerage?
By myself as a single agent in the same brokerage, though. It's the same brokerage. So I did that.
So okay, I'm gonna stop again.
Yeah.
You got your first bunch of deals from all these investors. This 52 is it from the investors or from different things?
Yeah, 83% of what I did in 2018 came from past clients and referrals. So 83% out of 52 transactions come from past experience clients and referrals. You gotta have to be doing something right, because otherwise you didn't sell like 5-10 homes and like 80% is referral. I'm like, that's 52 homes. So you gotta have to be doing something right. So I'm a firm believer that there are 2 types of human beings on the planet that we're living on. It's no different than in the real estate, because we're part of the rest of the population.
Sometimes we don't think so.
If you think about it, there are transactional based relationship, and then there is a relational based relationship. So I'm an R person, not T person. It's just the smart way to do it. Like it comes back to you tenfold. So I always look at the relationships out of every transaction comes before the actual transaction itself. And that served me very well. I have clients like I've done like literally we had in the last team meeting we had, I'm like, what I asked the team members, I'm like, hey guys, can you help me understand what your understanding is for what the value of the lifetime value for one client? What is the lifetime value for one client? So you got a lead. They call lead for a reason. They lead to something. So now you got a lead, you prospected, you met with them, you bought them a house, sold them a house, helped the family find a place that they can call home legitimately and no fluff. This is what your real goal is. So you've done that. Where does it end? And I literally had to draw a map. I'm like, this got this, this got this, this got this, this got this. It was almost 11 transactions came from one person and the family members of that one person. So now you have to take a step back, and I'm like, what the hell did you do every single step of the way to earn the privilege of being the choice of those people? Because guess what? We have 2,200 registered real estate agents in our real estate board. 2,200 registered agents. Whatever that number may be, look big or small, where the audience, people that are listening to us, where they live, that number could be like big for them, small for them, based on the agents count in their area. you're blessed, and you should never take that for granted, that you are sitting on the table, being in these people's house, and there is 2,199 agents could have been in that house, but they're not, and it's you. Have to take a step back. You have to be grateful, like legitimately grateful that you are the one who actually being on the table right now, not other ones, and never take that for granted, because it will go away. Everything can be gone in a blink of an eye. Period. End of discussion. Everybody has to understand that. So now, last time, it happens every single time, but last time was yesterday. Funny. We had one of our team members go to a listing appointment, so I go with him to kind of like shadow and then kind of teach him how. He's newer in the business. He's a great guy. So I'm like, we finished up, get out of the listing appointment. I'm like, do you know how many realtor this person met before us? So like, yeah, they mentioned around like 11 or something like that. I'm like,
11?
Yeah, 11.
Why? Wait. 11 people? Why 11 people?
They met the guy. Is a very, very extremely high D personality, works in financing, knows the number like the back of his hand. And you cannot really bullshit that person. Like it's just the conversation. He needs somebody that clicks, somebody mirrors a match, somebody who has authority, somebody like it's the law of reciprocation. He has to make sure like this person actually matches with me. So he has a very high like standard, very picky of who's going to be working with. Luckily that we ended up working with together yesterday. The point I'm trying to make, Maria, is if you're in a listing appointment, you have to pause and then think about it. Why the agent who helped this family purchase this exact house that you're sitting on right now, not on the table, and it's you who are on the table? Most agents don't think about that. Most buyers and sellers, they don't think about that, because most probably here's what happened. The agent helped this family buy the house and then see you tomorrow disappear. That's why I don't know how many years later, 1, 2, 3, 5 years later, this family chose to, we're going to actually be relisting the home because we're upgrading, downsizing, getting a bigger home, moving to the country, whatever they're doing. They need somebody to sell their home. Why is the agent who sold them the house, bought them the house, is not here on the table? Here is the thing. You never be that agent. So now, you're leaving out of that table right now. Remember, you should never be on that other side of the table and be that other agent, because guess what? You have to, that agent took it for granted. Probably they did. Probably, I don't know, but probably.
I think something else happens too.
What happened? What happened, Maria? What do you think?
I think that it's not about the maybe taking for granted. Maybe that's it. But I think the other issue is that you have to follow up with people, right? Not 100%. And a lot of people aren't very organized to do that. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have systems and processes in your business, it's virtually impossible to follow up with hundreds or thousands of people.
100%.
Which means that, maybe their business acumen isn't that good.
That's true, which means also it's a degree that they assume that client will come back to me if they want to sell their home because I was so good.
Yeah.
So never assume and never take anything for granted. And also,
I agree. I mean, you have to have systems in place in order, or you have to be able to do it yourself.
We always
you spend money to have other people do it, leverage.
Yep.
Or you have to create something that you can do yourself as a single agent.
100%. And Maria, you know the concept of like having a lot of deposits in the equity relationship bank account. So when the time comes in, when you ask for a withdrawal, you have a balance in that account. Imagine somebody walking into an ATM machine with a debit card in their hand, but they've never made any deposit in that account. And putting the ATM machine in the machine, the card in the machine, putting the right PIN number, and they're expecting money will come out of it. There is no freaking balance inside the account. Nothing will come out of it. So now I have a relationship bank account with Maria that I'm depositing into it all the time. So when I want to ask Maria to do something, which in that case, doing business with me as a buyer or seller, or getting into business with me as a business partner to build the best real estate company on the planet, well, I have to have a deposit in order for Maria to have me to ask for withdrawal and Maria get into business with me. It's that simple. Just we have to constantly remind ourselves of the importance of having tons of deposits in the equity relationship bank account, because that's what matters. And then the ROI, it's almost 1,000%. No bank account on the planet will give you higher ROI than the bank account. It's a virtual one. It's called equity relationship bank account. If you and I know now that there is some sort of investment that gets us 30% ROI, we will run and go and buy this investment because it's 30%. There is one will give you 1,000%, conditional on one thing. The condition is maintaining the relationship, staying in touch, following up, being a human being. Look at them as a human being. Maintain everything that you would like to receive on the other end. How about that? Is that simple? Everything you would like to receive on the other end, just give it. And knowing that will come back to you tenfold. Just have to have the faith that will happen one day. I'm a life proof for that. We live by that every single day. It works. Try it.
It does work.
It does work.
It does work. I think that's keeping. I've noticed that people lately, over the last year and a half, have had a lot of difficulties. So,
yeah,
in keeping the relationships, because let's face it, nobody wants to talk about the mental health of everything that's happened to a lot of humans over the last year and a half. Being, work from home, especially if you're by yourself, right? There is a lot of things that are not being talked about in regards to what's happened through the pandemic.
100%. A lot of people have been impacted by that, and the damage is real. The damage is real,
and I think it's harder. I've noticed in the last few months, it's harder for people for the connection because people have withdrawn. They're withdrawn.
Big time. And then thank God that technology have been the best so far to connect to people. Like we're in 2 different countries right now and we're chatting. So thank you for the technology. But the reality is, it will never replace the human connection and the face-to-face interaction. It just can't. It's just not going to happen. We embrace technology. We utilize technology. And thank you that we're chatting right now. We did all of that. Thank you to the technology. But during the actual pandemic, when things hit really hard, people have real problems. Mental health is a real issue. But as you're right, people don't talk about it.
And I think it's hard. It's hard, just normal people, anybody, agents or business people, maintaining their relationships. People are just trying to keep things going. So, I think there's something to be said about that. So it's what can people do to get out there, right, and still feel safe? Because that was whole part of it.
Yeah. As sad as it sounds, a lot of businesses got out of business. That a lot of businesses, the food industry got hit pretty hard. Real estate industry, like a lot of agents lost their job, can't afford having anything. There is no transaction. There is nothing. There is this. We had a moment of in Canada, it was really bad because the restriction was extremely hard.
I know.
Until now, the restriction was really hard. Well, now it was a little bit lifted, but it was really bad. So we had no choice. And this is where the mental toughness comes in place, and the importance of having a mental toughness that gets you through that. So here is the reality, Maria. Life will continue serve bad sandwiches to us all the time and bad storms to us, and we're going to have to eat it and say thank you and go through the storms. I don't want to use the other word, but you get what I'm saying. So
yes, and the sun will rise tomorrow anyway.
Okay, so then we had a moment where it was like end of May 2020, 3 months into the pandemic. I'm like, we literally have to double down on our activities to gain market share, and we doubled our business because I had no choice. It was either sink or swim. It's a shit show. If everything is bad, everything is falling apart. Everybody's crying, business closing. Nobody know what will that end or when will it end. I'm like, we have a choice right now. A lot of people will do that, which is bad, which I feel bad for. It's the reality. They will get out of business. A lot of business will be impacted negatively. All of that crap that we all heard of, we either have to be part of this or
part of the other
business.
Yeah, we call it decay curve, right? Decay.
Yeah.
Because some went up and some went out.
Yes.
And that's the reality.
That's just the reality, Maria. We gained a lot of market share. A lot of people that got out of everybody took their foot off the gas, right? I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to stop. But guess what? Here is the real number. In the freaking pandemic, on average, 5,800 homes get sold every year. 5,800 homes get sold every year. Every home has two sides of transaction, buying and selling.
Right.
12,000. 11,600 transactions. Exactly. In the 2020, last year, in the pandemic, we have 6,300 homes sold. 6,300. That's 12,600 transactions. People sold more real estate in the pandemic than ever in the history of the region. Guess what, Maria? Somebody had to help those people to sell the real estate, because it's not only about you. It's a shit show is all it means. People they lost their jobs. They need to sell the house. They need to buy a smaller home. I lost my job.
Condensed families need to buy a bigger home.
It was a crap show. So now, guess what? I can sit at home and cry because this is just what which is real. The pandemic is real. Or I have to step my game and actually help those people because they need help.
Yes.
Somebody need to help them buy real estate. It wasn't about us. It was about actually giving back to the community in the way that we can give back.
Absolutely.
So we did that.
That was a big part of it for people to take the action, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can't do anything if you don't take the action.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
There's nothing we could do. So let's go back for a second. You're in year 2. You have 52 sites closed.
Yeah.
It's 2018. What happens next?
I realized that
because you're growing like crazy. So this is really key for people to hear this.
So I will. So first year I was part of a team for almost 6 months in the year. Actually, not the full year. Did a lot of business. Realized just the long-term vision. We're not really sharing the same vision, but they are one of the top, They're one of the top teams in the country for a reason, though. So take your personal opinion as Ibrahim out of it. It doesn't matter. They're top team for a reason. What they're doing must be right. It's just like, I always give an analogy with the soccer players. It might be the best player in the world. Just the structure and the coach and the techniques that the team play with, you're not really giving your 100% of your talent based on that. So you move and you go to a different team, soccer player. That's why always we have a transfer window every year.
100%.
Right? So I did that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. Did on my own, sold a lot of real estate, have a very successful start for my career. I realized I have no life. Literally was everything that this word could possibly means. No life.
Your wife was getting mad.
My wife was getting mad. She was actually helping me in the business. So she started with us and then she left her career and she came back and she's the operational manager of our company right now. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. We had a baby 10 months ago. So
I know. I saw.
We officially retired. That was the plan. Once we have a baby, is like she will be like, you know what? I have a better, more important job now. Take care.
That's right.
And then when the baby grow older or go to school, then I have more time to go back to work. Which is good. So fast forward that I realized I have to be on a team because again I have no life. I need to. Here is the thing, Maria. Everybody knows the 80-20 rules. 20% of the activity generates 80% of the business. 80% of the activities only result into 20% of the business. Cool. I understand that. I'm a life proof because it's the circle. I do start here, one transaction. Start again, one transaction. I'm like, I don't need to do all of this. I need a team to take 80% of that and then only do the 20% that I want to do, which is meeting clients, build a relationship, negotiate agreements, and sell homes. That's what I should be doing, not on the back end, as any top producing agent would like to have. Interviewed every single possible team that you can possibly think or I can possibly put my hands on in the region. Like literally, I brought in a paper, just like a piece of paper, I draw a line in the middle on the right hand of the side. That is the practice that probably everybody can do for their own.
Yeah. The Benjamin.
You know what I mean? Here is the thing. Here is a line in the middle of the paper.
Yes.
And this is me talking to myself. Because you can be really good at persuasion and people would say yes to you and I know what happened after that. So be true to yourself in the mirror. So here is me. Here is how I would like things to look like for my own business. Line in the middle, every single possible reason that I can possibly think of why I need to be part of a team. Period. End of discussion. Here is every reason. Every single possible reason that I will never join a team if a team has any of those lists. Side by side, line in the middle. Go to Maria. Maria, you have a great staff. You have a great team. Tell me what the hell you're doing, because I wanna like, I'm tired and I sell a lot of real estate. Everything is good, but I need the structure. And then Maria has some of the stuff that I don't like, but she has everything I like. I'm like, we're not 100% on alignment. So interview. I realize I'm either being unrealistic or there is something that I'm not seeing, because I can't find a team that I will fit in. But I had to stay true to myself for real, and there is no BS. I have to be true to myself. I'm like, this is who I am. I'm a firm believer that I'm sitting on a table here. Maria's sitting on the other side of the table. There is a reason why we're talking, because we can see each other's value, right? But that value should mirror and match. It has to mirror and match. What I'm giving to the table has to match what you're putting to the table for the relationship to be amazing.
For it to flourish.
Yeah.
You have to have your business standards aligned, right?
100%.
Where you're going.
If there is no alignment, there is a crack somewhere in the foundation. And if we turn the blind eye on that crack and not paying attention to it, the crack will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Here's what happens. The building will collapse.
It blows up.
That building is the business relationship, Maria.
Yeah.
They end up getting out of business, and when they get out of business, they don't become friends anymore. I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I'm like, there is no, like, we only live like 60, 70 years, and then we die eventually. I'm being realistic. I'm like, it's not worth it to make somebody mad at you. Just forget about it. Just cut it short from now. It's a mindset. Always think of like what the end result would look like, right? I'm like,
yes. It's hard for people to do that too, because they let the emotions control the situation, and then you never really think about what happened. So I had to learn that lesson myself.
We all did. So I'm like, okay, doesn't exist. So I need to literally, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna continue selling real estate, because I realize how much money that it takes to start a company from scratch. So I sold a lot of real estate. I had to sell like no tomorrow. Had to build a relationship, keep, made a lot of money, saved everything I have. In November 1st, 2018, in the end of 2018, when I realized like halfway through the year, I'm like, I can't keep going. This is not good. This is just literally not good. So November 1st, 2018, we started the team. I brought in 3 people that were still with, like, people who are with us from day one, are still with us until now. 3 years. Our next week, Monday anniversary, is the 3rd anniversary for the team. Everybody, like, thank God we have a bold statement. We have 0% attrition. Bold statement. So we're 21 agents right now, and we're growing.
0% attrition.
0% attrition.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, it's a bold. Not a single person on a team. Hey, that team is not the right fit for me, and I'm leaving. I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Here's a struggle. I had in 2018, May 23rd, 2018, I was in a conference in San Diego. I was lucky enough to corner a Tiffany Bova, if you heard of that name. Tiffany, she's the author of Growth IQ.
Okay.
And she is the director of innovation for a Salesforce, small company.
Oh, yeah, I actually do know. I knew who she is.
Yeah. So I talked to her.
A small company that's a huge company now.
A small company that's worth around like 18 billion.
Yeah.
A
few years ago, they built a big headquarters in San Francisco.
Yeah. So I cornered her in the lunch break for around like 12 minutes. Okay, that was a lot of time, though. That's a lot of time. So I cornered her talk, and she said one thing sticks in my head, and I come back and I'm like, I have to implement it. She's like, Ibrahim, you're gonna have to live in the future to welcome the client when they arrive. Okay, that might sound a little bit.
Repeat it again.
You have to live in the future to welcome your client when they arrive, because they will arrive. I'm like, okay, we went in multiple layers underneath that to unpack that big statement. So here is the reality. Starting a real estate company, being a real estate agent, we have 2 different types of clientele. I'm actually sharing this publicly. So for somebody to probably inspired by that or take it and implement it. From an organizational point of view, we have two different types of clientele, and we're going to have to be honest and true to ourselves. We have people that want to buy and sell real estate, that they are the lifeblood for the business because that's why we're open, that's why we have door opens, because they are people blessed us with their business. Two, real estate professionals that they want to operate the real estate business within a company that allows them to flourish. As simple as that, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, those real estate agents, real estate professionals that we're going to get in business with, they will have the same freaking paper that I wrote to myself if they think it the same way I'm thinking. If this person produces 30, 40, 50, 60 homes a year, they will think it the same way I thought. I gotta have to wake up and get out of my own way. That's what they will think. Now, that type of clients for the organization, that type of client, they will go to the future, which is when they become a rock star agents. That's their future. I have to be there to welcome them when they arrive. What the hell does that mean? Mm-hmm. Like everything, there is a moment of realization will happen at the life of every professional realtor. That moment of realization happens when they start to realizing and figuring out the real estate game. Now, the moment will happen, and then holy cow will show up. There's two different types of holy cow will show up, because it happened with me, it happened with you, it happened with everybody, but maybe they didn't connect the dots yet. So now that I know what I know, Maria, how the business is run, ins and outs, how to be successful, how to all of that stuff, right? I reflect, I pause, and I reflect on my journey with my ABC real estate company that I'm part of right now. Holy cow shows up, I have been taking advantage of. Now that I know what I know, where is the nearest door? See you tomorrow. Just the reality. The flip side of the coin of the holy cow moment is, now that I know everything I know, I reflect back on my journey, and I'm like, wow, thank you. I have been given everything that I should have had before I know that I should have it. These people who are living in the future know where I'm coming. And as much as I grow, I have room to grow within this company. Because if you outgrow the pot you're in, you're going to die, or you have to leave the pot. So the company has to be much bigger than the biggest person in the company for that person to always have room to grow. I know it sounds so simple, it's not complicated. The problem is the implementation with that. The implementation is where the problem is. So now, you will never give a deal as the same thing. You will never buy a house for the clients that you'll never buy for yourself. You will never sell a house for a client with a price less than what you're going to sell your own house for if you have the same identical home. Same principle, you should never give a deal to somebody that your business partner, yeah, I said it, business partner, whether you choose or not, they are your business partner. Here is the reality. They invest part of their hard-earning commission into the company, same as any high tech-savvy, smart investors look at their stock investment. If I have a stock company in a company, my stock doesn't make me that much money. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pull my money, invest in somebody else, another company that makes me more money. Any responsible financial person will do that, correct? Guess what? They're smart too, and they will do the same crap that you will do in yourself. So now, if they don't see a continuous higher return on their investment in your company that continue to grow their business, they will do the same thing you're going to do, or somebody else will do for a stock. They will take their investment, invest somewhere else, that they will see more money coming in. It sounds so simple. But the problem comes in is the sense of entitlement from the team leaders and the leadership. It pisses me off big time, the sense of entitlement from the leadership and the team leader towards their team members. They're not your agents. Last I checked, they're not your agents. Their contract says self-employed general contractor for a reason. They're not on payroll, unless I don't know what company you're working at, that person that think that way, they're not. So that being said, never give them something that you're not going to take yourself, number one. Number two is always come from contribution and make tons of deposits in the equity relationship bank account. Understand, money is not good because it changes people. Money changes people. When situation comes in finance, I make a lot of money just as a declaration. So I understand what I'm telling, what I'm saying. And when people comes in and then they start doing business with people, money situation shows up. People actually, the true color shows up. The true color shows up when money gets involved in any equation. You have to start with that side. And look, you don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. We both chose to be here. We both chose to invest in this. The moment that you don't see any higher return on your investment, this is where you actually should be leaving because you owe that to your family. Now, go back as an organization. Here is how we operate based on everything. But that takes a lot of money to actually have a proper system. We don't outsource anything. Everything is 100% owned by our company. Like our entire call center is owned by us. We don't outsource it. Our staging company, we have a legitimate staging company, like full-time interior designers, movers, $90,000 van, warehouses, tons of inventory. It's a whole company owned by us that gives the service for free to our agents. We have an in-house marketing team. Everything is in-house owned. So that agent comes in, there is 180 tasks or whatever it takes to actually sell a house from A to Z, from the time we write until take the sign off. How many do I know? Probably 2 that I actually do, which is I show up, talk to the client, why we are the right person for you, right company, right team, right structure, and then I negotiate the deal. I get you the best dollars. Anything happens in between, it's important, it has to happen. Whether I did it or somebody else did it, the client doesn't even care because they don't even know. But it allows me a lot more free time to do what I should be doing, which is being a front line, dealing with my client to build the relationship, to end up having 83% referral-based business. So we did this for the company, and then this is where the team grew massively, year over year. And as of this morning, we are at 267 transactions, 218 million in volume, and then 4.1 GCI.
So that was a lot.
Thank you. I get excited when I talk about that particular topic because it's the real definition.
I know you have a passion for this. So let me unpack.
Okay.
Let's go back for a second.
Let's unpack for a second.
Okay. So you decide I'm going to open my own company.
Yeah.
Okay. And then who do you bring on? Your wife is there, but now your wife is the baby. She's home. But who is in the company when you start in 2019?
Yeah, well, 18 November
18.
So November 2018, which is end of 20. Like basically 2019 was our full first year. I talked to my big brother, business partner, one of the smartest people that I have personally known, privileged to have. He makes me a good person every day. His name is Idris Beg, and he's our broker of record for we have our own brokerage within the company. So we're kind of like a team and a brokerage style combined. So he's our broker of record, the person, the voice of reason, I call him. A lot more logical than me. So I actually take his opinion when we're doing big decisions. So Idris is the first person I talk to. First person, I'm like, hey, Idris. And then Patty is the second person I talk to. And then Jahid is the third person we talk to. And then we start building the company. And from on, we had Dan and Roman joined us after that. Amy came us after that. And
so he's a broker of record. And then the next two, Jahid, what are they doing?
Jahid was in the mortgage industry before he comes into real estate. He works in a Toyota company for 18 years, works in the mortgage industry. He joined us. And then Jahid now is a top reducing agent in the whole team, and he sells around like 50 homes a year. So that's a lot of real estate where we are. And then after that, we have, to put things in perspective, we have 6 engineers on the team.
Engineers, what does that mean?
Engineers, people that they have engineering degrees and like working in engineering and numbers. And
what are they doing?
They ended up being realtors. So those people, they have a lot of structure in their life, a lot of like math built into their everything that they do in their life, and all of that to make business sense for them to join for us. That's a statement. We take that as a compliment.
Yes.
Our operations team in the back end, we have two people. One has PhD and the other one is a fresh graduate from engineering school in the top engineering school in the city. We actually hired to do our back end support system. So we don't take it as a joke. The human being and the calibers we have on the team is the reason why we are where we are now. Like, period. Like, literally, like, we only attract people that we think the same way we think, and we don't recruit. We only attract, we don't recruit. And we want to get in business with people that they like us, we like them, and it's just growth in the right way, growth in the steady way. I don't want to be the type of team that recruits, and then it's the most important thing in any. Human beings are the liver of every business. You want to grow, you're the sum of the people that you're working with, literally. How big the team is based on like how great the people on the team are. So we protect our culture at any cost, literally at any cost. The culture is the most, okay, we have a lot of human power, we have a lot of financial power, but that doesn't matter. The only thing that we brag about is our culture and how good our people are, and we want to keep it that way at any cost.
So what is the makeup of the team? You said you have different services,
Yes,
staging,
so,
movers.
yes.
So what are all the services that you provide?
We have administrative team. We have agent services. So our agent don't do anything. It's very spoiled. Like, literally, even the lockbox, they don't put it on. You don't even go put the lockbox on. They don't do anything. Like this, literally, they only do like working with clients. So we have agent services. We have administrative team. We have in-house a marketing team. We have a transaction coordinators. We have a full staging company. We have a call center.
So how many people are in your call center?
We have eight full-time ISAs.
You have 8 full-time ISAs.
Full-time ISAs, yeah.
Okay, and they're doing inbound and outbound?
Only outbound.
Only outbound.
Yeah, the inbound is the agent's responsibility.
So in Canada, you can't call expires.
Yes.
So they're calling circle prospecting?
Circle prospecting around our listing.
Around the houses that you have?
Around, our listing, that's correct.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So they're doing circle prospecting.
Bringing awareness to the neighborhood, having a lot more exposure, and then generating more business to us too.
Okay, so you have 8 ISAs.
Yes.
We have an admin team. How many people?
Admin team, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people.
On admin, and that includes marketing?
No.
Okay.
So the marketing, we have an in-house videographer. We have another person that takes care of the social media, and the videographer, photographer is both. And that's 2 people on the marketing side. We're hiring the 3rd person next week as we're growing. And we have 2 full-time movers, 1 full-time interior designers for the staging side. We have a dedicated person for sales signs. Only us. We own our own posts, and he goes there
services.
For services. We have one for agent services that takes care of everything that the agent should be doing, but we want to take away from their plate, so that person actually does all of that, answering emails, answering the 1-800 number, all of that stuff. We have 2 receptionists in the office outside for the main building. What else we have? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's about 20 staff.
So we have 31 person in-house, 31 person in-house, and then 8 person in the call center, 8 people in the call center. So that's 39 people.
Total, everybody.
Yeah, everybody's 39, everybody combined.
Okay.
Yeah. Agents, staff, support, and ICs. 39.
39 people.
Yeah.
And you attracted those people in a 3-year period.
We attracted those people in a 1.5, 2 years period.
What do you attribute it to?
The relationship. I think I have a good relation. I have a personal connection with every single person, literally.
Like you actually knew them before?
Yeah. No. I have after we got into business, we build some sort of personal connection directly between me and them. We have a story, like I will tell about them, and they have a story to tell about me. Because here's what I came to realize, and John, actually, I learned that from John. It was a voice of reason that confirmed and validated something in my head. People don't join a structure. They don't join a model. They don't do that. People join or leave leadership.
Right.
It's that they will join or leave based on the leadership of the place that they're working at, not because you have a better split and they make more money.
Yes, of course.
None of that matter.
Of course, I always say I could go somewhere and make more money.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody can get a good deal somewhere. Everybody can get a good deal somewhere.
It's all about community.
Yeah,
it's all about community.
You're right.
And protecting that. So that's quite a lot of accomplishment in a short amount of time.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Congratulations on your success.
We attribute that to our people, and to God first, and then to our people second, and to always be grateful, because God has said, if you're grateful, I will always give you more. So we actually believe that. We have it in the wall everywhere.
Yeah. So what does he say again? Tell me.
If you're grateful, I will most certainly increase you in favor. Or if you're grateful, I will most certainly give you more. So be grateful, you get more. Be grateful, you give more.
Gratitude is where it's at.
Gratitude is the key. Gratitude is the key, and also your hard work and like just waking up at morning and understanding, okay, that day literally worth more than $1 million for me. The reason why that day worth more than $1 million for me is if last night I give you a check, hey Maria, here is $1 million check. Take it, but one condition: don't wake up tomorrow. You're gonna be like, get the hell out of here, Ibrahim. I don't want it. I want to actually wake up tomorrow. So I'm gonna decline your offer. So Maria, what I'm hearing you saying is next day, waking up at morning worth more than $1 million for you. Did I get that right? Yeah. What did you do in that day that will worth in productivity more than $1 million? Nothing. So you're taking the day for granted. I'm gonna give you the same offer again tomorrow. You're gonna decline again. I'm like, well, you didn't do anything yesterday worth $1 million. So I don't know why you're declining it. So it's a moment of realization of like, every day we wake up, what are we doing? Are we that purposeful, committed, ruthless, laser focused on what we have to do? Or we're just taking it for granted, like it's just another day? Everybody knows the answer for themselves, right?
That is true. How do you move people into that mindset?
Constant reminder. Because look, it's called being a human. We all sometimes forget we have like our downtime.
Yes, of course.
All that stuff. This is a frequent reminder. You are designed for greatness, and you're not capitalizing in your potential. And then always say that it's the same message. The message never changes. It's just a different way of saying it. Hopefully that one day will click with that person's mind. It's like, oh, a switch will flip in my head. I'm like, okay, shoot, now I get it. And they start acting accordingly, because it goes back to the basics and the foundation and the principle that never change.
That's why we go to things over and over again.
Yeah, it's called the mastery, right? Like,
yes.
It's a mastery, just keeping going over and over and over. Like,
I mean, there's a cadence to it as well.
Yeah, you're good at that. Good for you, Maria. Be better at it. Be great at it. Just don't innovate and go do something else, because like, you know what, that sounds so easy. It's not. You do that 1,000,000 times until you can't get it wrong. So yeah, practicing 100
skills. 100%. It's all part of it. So you got lots going on. What's new? What is in store for you and your company in 2022?
Yes, thank you. So 2022, our goal is 500 million in volume, $500 million, and in 600 transactions. And then the big goal, and hold me accountable for it, is we will be doing 1 billion in 2023, and that was our 5-year goal back in 2018.
So double.
Yeah. So back in 2018, the goal was in 5 years we're doing 1 billion of sales.
So that will be more team members.
That will be more team members. We will have to have 46 partners on the team to make sure that number has been hit. People are delivered. You will never go anywhere in life without having the right people around you. It is all the credit goes to them. I'm just a privilege and honor to tag along what they're doing and then watching and learning from them. Maybe I have 1 or 2 things here to add to help them, but it's all about them. Truthfully, I mean it.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's true. Here's the thing: we learn from each other, and we go to masterminds, and you hear something. I'm like, wow, you just voiced what I have in my head, and like you just assured me that I'm not nuts. You assured me that what I was doing is right. Thank you for validating my thoughts, kind of thing. It's true.
So that's some pretty big goals.
It keeps us awake at night. Trust me, like it's not easy. There's a lot of moving parts behind the scene to get to that.
There's a lot of moving parts.
It sounds so good.
And where do you fit into all of it?
Where do I fit in?
Right.
I try as much as I can to walk the talk, and and if you lead by, like, there is two different type of communication or messages, either a theoretical one and a practical one. One comes from the kitchen and one saying like theoretical, like, hey, if you do this, you're gonna get this. If you do this, you're gonna get this. But I actually have done this, and if you do this, you're gonna get that. So if I'm talking to an agent level and I'm gonna be like, hey, here's what you need, how many homes you need to sell, I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do because I have done twice as much. So come here and do that. And then you're increasing the authority score in people's mind that what you're saying is valid. And then you also judge the tree by its fruit, right? You judge the tree by its fruit. Here is what you've done. That means if you do that, you're not smarter than me. So if you did this, I'm going to do that. I'm like, absolutely. Yes. If I did that, you can do even more than that. Yeah.
If you want to.
Yes, if you want to. You're right.
Yeah, it's about the desire, the confidence, or taking borrowed confidence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then most importantly, action.
Maria, just give me 1 second. I can just put the laptop charger in, okay? Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
I'm not letting you go until I hear where you're going to fit into everything.
Yes. So where am I going to fit in? I'm literally, we follow the EOS system. You familiar with that?
EOS?
EOS, yeah. So
I'm familiar with the EOS, yes. Rocket Fuel and Traction,
yeah.
Gino Wickman.
Yeah. So I'm classified as a visionary. I don't know why they classified me as that, but they just put me in that position. So I just think of where the next step should be and how can we get there. And the implementation is Michael in the back end and Alicia that they take care of that. So I'm literally the visionary, and I just think of the bigger ideas. And here is where we were. Here is where we were. Here is where we are. Here's how we get it, and here is what needs to be done to get to that point. And then you're gonna have to have the right people, the right caliber, the right mindset to help you get to where you are. So I just plan where we should be, and I work like 16 hours a day. Aside of that,
16. And what do you do to those 16 hours?
I'm literally involved in everything, like literally everything. Letting go is a real struggle. Letting go of a little bit of details is a real struggle, and I think I'm doing good so far.
Wait, so you're not telling people where to put the furniture, are you?
I did at some point in time, so I let go of that one.
Oh,
so
dear.
I'm making progress, so I let go of that one. But literally, like, I involve in everything behind the scenes. Everything like it's been done right. And then once you did it twice, 3 times good, now I have to completely leave it because I trust that you will do it the right way. But I have to be involved in every step in the beginning to make sure it's been done properly. After that, you have the right people in the right seats and the right bus, and let them do what they're doing, because you're hiring, you're partnering, you're getting in business with the right people for them to tell you what to do, not for you to tell them what to do. But just in the beginning, I have to make sure we're in alignment of how things should be done. Now, You have to imitate before you innovate. So before
so how long do you give that? How long does this go on for with somebody? 60 days, 90 days.
60 days is a fairly like good time. 60 days. Yeah, 60 days is more than enough.
Okay, that's good.
The whole idea of imitate before you innovate is the real deal. Real deal. Like, you're gonna come in. I understand where the industry coming from, the tech industry. You're a very innovative guy and very smart, and that's why you're here. Welcome. But here is how we do things. You're gonna be doing it the way we're doing it first. Here is the foundations. After that, you're more than welcome to use your innovation for only 10 times of the time, 10%. But 90% you have to follow the basic. And then you have room for it. You don't come in and just like change the whole thing. So I want to make sure everything has been done properly. So I'm a little bit annoying in that regard. But yeah, I'm trying to be less annoying.
Well, that's okay. So you're inspecting what you're expecting and you're following, making sure everybody's following the process.
That's correct.
Because trust equals capacity, right? So we have to be able to trust to get the capacity. But It takes time to trust. You can't expect people right away to come into an organization and know right off the bat exactly what to do 100%. They need to know somewhat, but every organization has its own flow and it has its own whatever it is. And not just because we both own real estate companies, Ibrahim, doesn't mean that we operate anything the same.
Oh, absolutely.
They could come from here to go to you, and you would be like, "What is that thing you're doing?" It's vice versa.
Point absolutely. There is no right way or wrong way of doing things. And here's the thing, Maria. I'm like, I have to live in the real world, okay? Meaning, the population here, we happen to be in a city. That is a reality, and it's so bad in a way that most people don't get it in the region here. I'm like, you're living in a region, by fact, numbers and fact, it's the second highest city with a startup companies in the world. That is the population you're living in, number one. Number two, the real estate agents are part of this population. So the people you're talking to are a little bit somehow, this is working inside. So when that works, you gotta have to work it the same way and meet them where they are. Meet them where they are, because the problem happens when people start, as I told you, they start realizing things and start getting there, and then the only reason why the organization did not see the potential of those people is because you thought they will never get there, or you thought they're not as smart as you are. That's why you gave them that not so good deal that you won't take yourself. That's why you paid your admin staff less than what you will pay your daughter or your wife if they were admin in your team, because they're just admin. You can replace them anytime. This is why you're not paying your videographer the way they should be getting paid, because it's just a videographer. I can't hire anybody. If you stop and then look at the long-term relationship, I promise you will start thinking differently. And then you have to pay people what they're worth, which is a degree of treating people the way they should be treated, which is the golden rule, the way you would like to be treated. It's a common sense. But we just need frequent reminder to check our thoughts and put our ego aside. You want to hear a fun story or fun practice that I do? A practice might help.
Yeah. Yes.
On the back of my door in the house, I always have the notes in like an actual physical notes, and I leave it outside. If people come visit, I just take it away because they will be like, "That's weird," It says, "Leave your ego inside." So every time I go out of the house and go to work, leave your ego inside. So I read it, and I mentally leave my ego inside, get outside, close the door, and I'm outside of the work. I know I have no ego at work because last I checked, I left it inside the house. So if we're having a conversation, fun one, serious one, heated one, there is no ego in here because I left it home before I come. I want to assure you that. I have it physically written in the back door, in the back of the door when we're inside. So it's a frequent, because all the problem shows up by ego. We all have ego. And sometimes we don't know how to control when it comes off, to the other side. But when it comes up, this is where the problem is. Like, put your ego aside. There is no ego here. We're just talking as a human being. And then, in a short summary, just be a good person.
Yeah.
That's
a good one. Leave your ego at home.
Yeah, leave your ego.
Sometimes we don't know what's showing up is part of ego. You have to think about it, because there's little things that pop in that are ego.
Yeah.
We don't think that they are. It's really getting very clear.
We are responsible for how we make people feel. We are responsible for how we make people feel, because perception is reality, and the reality is perception. How they perceive what we said is our fault. Just have to own it. It's somebody like, you know what? Hey, Maria, somebody rear-ended you in a red light. Whose fault is that? Everybody will be like, oh, it's the other person's fault.
Well, we know the answer. It's my own fault.
Because
I was there.
Right? Like it's owning the outcome of everything comes in your life. You said something stupid, dumb, and then you pissed off somebody, or like they got mad at you. Listen, but this person is so fluffy and so emotional, and I actually did not even mean all of that stuff. Screwed it. No. It's my fault, because I made that person feel that way. I have to own it. So I want to make sure every word that comes out of my mouth when I'm talking to somebody that does not make them feel that way.
Sounds so easy, but yet so hard.
It is always constantly check our emotions.
Check our emotions.
A bold law.
And I had an emotional moment before we got on this morning.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, because something like yesterday, last night, and then I didn't sleep well, and I didn't sleep well, and I was being attacked in my sleep. So when you get up, that was not good. It was not good. So I had a little cry. Then I pulled on my big curl panties and got it going.
Yeah. You gotta go. You have things to do, right? Like put the emotions on the side for now, because we have
the show must go. The show must go on as they speak.
Mental toughness is your best friend.
That's right. And at the end of the day, we are the show, right? So I always say, it doesn't matter what happens behind the scenes, so to speak. If things are messy, clean them up. The curtain's on. Move forward.
100%. 150%. Yeah. This is where we're going. This is where we're going, Maria. We have big goals ahead, and
I'm excited. I'll be looking and watching.
Thank you.
I'll be looking and watching, and I'll be checking in to see
100%
where you are with that 500 million number.
Hold on. There is no ifs or buts. It has to be done. It has to be done, not because of thank you, Maria. Not because of what will come out of it, but why we're doing it. And then the main reasons why we're doing it, because the families who are going to be helped, that income generated will go in a certain places, that if it didn't go to help certain families, these people will be impacted negatively. We always tie our goal to something charitable related, something that people that on the other side of the world, that if we really think that we know what poverty is because we watched it on a TV or saw it in a movie, we actually don't know what the hell that is, because there's a whole different world on the other side of the planet that I will invite everybody to have one trip of their life to somewhere, certain countries in Africa that, hey, Maria, last Lake Tahoe, when we hiked the Mount Talak, it was like 9 hours, and then people celebrate the victories, like, here is the thing, I've done this, I've done that, like, I'm so hero. On the way down, I was talking to Pam, I was talking to Jennifer, and Idris and Moni, and I'm like, guys, you think we've done something good? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you know what's sad about it is we're celebrating. We have hydrations, like drinks and like foods and snacks. I'm like, kids in Africa, they walk 10 kilometers to get clean water to drink, and then they walk back with a water puck above their head, holding it all of that time. every single damn day to just drink. And here we're having it so easy. You're gonna go to the hotel, you're gonna shower, freshen up, put your suit on, come work next day. Do you really think you're having a hard life? Do you really, for God's sakes, think that you have a hard life? Come on. When things gets cold, one switch in the wall, boom, heat's on. If it's cold, if it's warm, boom, AC's on, lights on, off. We're living in a very easy life. So when somebody says I have a hard time, blah blah blah, I get it. You're telling me that you're spoiled by indirect way, because you don't know what hard life is. You really don't know what hard life is. Like, I would love to invite you to show you the other side of the world, because when you come back, it will change your life forever, for good. For good. So if everybody's watching, if you get a chance, you go to you do your own researches. My favorite, not favorite, but the two countries that I'm visiting very next year is Tanzania and Kenya. Tanzania and Kenya in Africa. You go there and you're gonna be very grateful. You're gonna come back a different person. It will change your life. It will change how you look at people. It will change how you look at life. And yeah, man.
When are you gonna do that?
Hopefully by February. Hopefully, like 4 months from now.
And you're gonna go there to help some people?
We will go there to like. Here's the thing, Maria. Like it's the water that we drink. They don't have it. So when you go there and participate in digging a well, multiple wells in different towns, and these people have drink water, so they don't have to walk 10 hours to get water. That's a big deal for them. You made their life.
It's life-changing for you and them.
For only drinking water. You go to Starbucks here, you spend $5 though. I'm not telling anybody to change how they're living their life or like don't buy a cup, but like the $5, the $5 like Starbucks cup that you're buying, that can feed a family for like a week there. And then we're just not thinking about it. It's a stupid cup, I'm drinking it and like threw it in the garbage and like continue driving, life is good. Here's the thing, this would have made that much difference in those people's life. So you're gonna have to tie your goal, whatever goal you have in life, tie it with somebody else, that such that by not hitting your goal, somebody else will be impacted by you not hitting your goal. Because of like, oh, I want to sell X number of homes. I want to make X number of money. Okay, cool. Why is it? Because I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that. And what if this didn't happen? Oh, I will cut there. I'm like, I don't see another human being tied to your goal. Because if you didn't hit that goal, you're only disappointing yourself, which is a different way of saying you're selfish, but you didn't say you're selfish because you don't think that you're selfish, because you're a good person. And I know that you're a good person. I just want to bring awareness to your mind. If you have somebody else tied to your goal, that if you didn't hit your goal, that person will be impacted negatively by you not hitting your goal. You're going to think a million times before the year finishes and I'm not hitting my goal. I'm like, who else will be impacted by that? It's just a different level of accountability.
Thank you.
I know this has nothing to do with real estate, but I don't know.
No. Thank you for sharing that, because I think it's something that we as humans here in North America tend to push under the rug.
Yeah.
And forget about it. Let's just close that door. We don't see it, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so thank you for the awareness of that.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate your time today, and
I
love your energy.
I appreciate you, and thank you. It's an honor, privilege, and grateful to be with you and having me. Thank you for that.
Thank you for being the solution, because you hitting those goals will be the solution for so many people that really need the help.
We really truly hope so. We truly hope so. We believe that we're the vehicle, the reason that God helps those through us. So if we take it and keep it and doesn't go to them, He's not going to continue giving it to us. He's going to give it to somebody else that will give it to them.
Right.
Just a different way of looking at it, right?
No, I appreciate this. I needed to hear that this morning. Yeah. So I'm like, a little teary-eyed.
I'm sorry, Maria.
I know. I'm not like a big, huge crier, but I'm a little sappy sometimes.
Yeah, we all are.
So when things are, that's emotional, human caring about other people and
yes,
the people that are less fortunate. So we need to make sure we're continuing to give back. So
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
I'm blessed and grateful for your time and your friendship.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, we should have done that a couple of weeks ago and keep scheduling. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's all good. All good. Stuff happens. Such is life.
I know.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for being on The Solution. And I will see you soon, Ibrahim.
We'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.